Good afternoon, friends. Have you ever received a promise from God and then had to wait for it? Well, God wants you to know that your waiting season has a purpose, and that purpose is to receive revelation from His heart. In this series, I am sharing some of the revelation that I've received while waiting on God. Today's word is a revelation of honoring God with our presence. I was having my morning prayer time and spent some time worshiping the Lord. I said to Him, "Thank you so much for honoring me with your presence." Immediately, I heard back in my heart, "Thank you for honoring me with your presence." That really took me aback. God was honored by my presence. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that was a true statement. Our presence in His presence is exactly what He wants from us. He has in fact paid the highest price of all so that I could go into His presence. God wants me to utilize that privilege because He wants to be with me. Jesus said it like this in John 15, verses 4 to 11. "Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my word remains in you, you may ask me for anything you want and it will be granted. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to my Father. I have loved you even as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love. When you obey my commandments, you remain in my love, just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in His love. I have told you these things so that you will be filled with my joy. Yes, your joy will overflow." Abiding in Jesus means spending time in His presence, and His abiding in me means spending time in my presence. We show our fear of the Lord and our honor of Him when we do what He wants us to do, including spending time in His presence. Of course, He is honored by our presence. It makes so much sense now when I think about it. Moses and Joshua understood this. Mary, sister of Lazarus, understood this. When Mary's sister Martha tried to get Mary out of Jesus' presence and into the kitchen, Jesus told her in Luke 10:42, "There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her." Jesus rebuked Martha's distraction, not Mary sitting at His feet, blessing Him with her undivided attention. Yes, if I am really honoring God with my presence and He is going to be honored by it, it should be undivided. And there's the rub. It really doesn't matter what season of life I'm in. There's always distractions to getting into God's presence and really spending time with Him, focused on Him. When I'm waiting for the promise, that distracts me. When I'm in the promise, that distracts me. Not to mention all the normal things that constantly pull and tug at our thoughts while we're trying to spend time with the Lord. Yet He is always available. Jesus is always undivided and focused. So what's the answer? We must take control of our thoughts. Don't let them control us. Keep reining them in. Make them obey Christ. Be disciplined. You'll be glad you did, and so will God. This is actually what it looks like to build our lives on the rock that is Jesus. He taught in Matthew 7:24, "Anyone who listens to my teachings and follows it is wise. like a person who builds their house on a solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the floodwaters rise and the winds beat against that house, it won't collapse because it is built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains come and the floods and the winds come and beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. Building our life on the rock by hearing from Jesus and obeying what he says carries some pretty great benefits. If you build your life on the rock, you do not need a backup plan. Friends, what is the Lord speaking to you? You find that out in his presence. Is that idea that you have or that opportunity that came from the Lord? If not, then rethink it. If yes, then dive in wholeheartedly, even if it doesn't make sense to you right now. Living in the supernatural often doesn't make natural sense, but that logic-defying experience is the absolute best way to live. If God is leading you, you can be sure that he has your back, your front, and is all around you, leading you and guiding you every step of the way. And that really honors God. Well, that's all for today. I put some scriptures in the description of this video for you to study on your own and really get this message deep inside your heart. If you have any testimonies about how the Lord has been honored with your presence, I would love to hear them. So put a comment in the video or in the comment section of this video. I would love to hear about that. And then make sure you join me again right back here on Wednesday at 12 Central. Have a blessed week.